So we're going to talk about the keys for success for the A&M quarterbacks. As of this recording right now, there hasn't been an announcement who's starting under center for the Aggies. Could be Weigman, could be Marcel Reed. But as of right now, I haven't seen a report saying who is starting. But regardless who starts, I think some of the keys remain the same. I'm going to lean towards Marcel Reed starting, just kind of reading between the tea leaves and what's being reported. But again, don't know who is starting yet. But before we talk about the A&M quarterbacks and the keys, let's talk about Arkansas's defense. And at the end of this video, we're going to look at 3 clips from Arkansas's defense to showcase what they could potentially throw at Texas A&M. But the big theme, the big takeaway from Arkansas's defense is they want to keep everything in front. They want to confuse the quarterback pre-snap and try to force the quarterback to make a mistake. Arkansas forced 4 interceptions against Auburn last week. Right now, I know Auburn's quarterback play isn't great by any means, but they still forced 4 interceptions against Auburn. They forced a pick against UAB. Then Oklahoma State, I don't think they had any turnovers. And they played UAPB the first game of the season. I'm not really counting that. But regardless, they want to keep everything in front, and they want to be very strategic about when they bring pressure. Against UAB, they had 17 pressures, 1 sack, and they blitzed 41% of the passing downs. Against Auburn, they only had 12 pressures, but they did get 2 sacks, and they had 4 interceptions. So even though they didn't get a lot of pressure and they blitzed 40% of the dropbacks, they still got a lot of turnovers, right? So they're going to try to confuse the A&M's quarterbacks. At least if they try to attack A&M like they tried to attack Auburn, they're going to try to confuse the quarterbacks, show one thing pre-snap, then show something else post-snap. And something else that they've done really well is what we've talked about, keeping the ball in front, and they haven't allowed any big explosive plays. They've had 2 completions where the ball was completed when it was thrown 20 yards or more downfield. So they've done a really good job keeping everything in front, trying to avoid the big plays against them, right? So if you're the A&M quarterback, if you're Reed or Weigman, how do you lose against Arkansas's defense? Well, it's following Auburn's quarterback footsteps. Whatever they did, do not, right? I know I'm kind of partly joking, but they forced balls. They were confused at what Auburn or Arkansas was throwing at them, and it led to interceptions. I think if they just take care of the ball and let Arkansas's quarterback be the one that makes mistakes, A&M should win. A&M's got a good roster. They got a solid defense. If they just don't force the ball and let Arkansas's quarterback make the mistake, they should be in a good position. But what are the keys for the Aggies quarterback? Well, if it's Reed, here are my keys for Marcel Reed. Use your legs. Be smart with your legs, but I think that let your legs, your running ability is almost the X factor, essentially. Use your legs. Get the ball out quick, and don't force anything that's not there. I think it's kind of simple. I think you let the running game win. And if you're a Weigman, maybe you don't use your legs like Marcel Reed does, but you can use your legs to avoid any potential pressure. Even though Arkansas hasn't gotten a ton of pressure, you can still use your legs for some bootlegs, some play actions to make some easier type throws. You still want to get the ball out quick, and you don't want to force anything. Like we talked about, Arkansas's defense isn't really giving up a lot of explosive plays. So don't be the quarterback that tries and fails. Now, if it's there, go ahead and take that shot, right? But I think initially, use your legs. If you're Reed, use as a runner. If you're Weigman, use it to escape the pocket or to use play action. But for both guys, get the ball out quick and don't force anything. No need to force a vertical throw. If it's not there, rely on your run game. Have your run game take over. Right. So those are the 3 keys for the Aggie defense. If you're an A&M fan, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. 1, who do you want to start? And 2, what keys do you think are there? There's obviously more than 3 keys for A&M's quarterbacks to have success. So we're going to watch 3 clips of this of Arkansas's defense against Auburn last week. We're going to watch 2. The first 2 clips are going to show zone coverage. They're going to showing one thing pre-snap, then showing something else post-snap. And then the last clip is actually going to be a cover 1 man under. So we're going to have 1 up top safety, and the 4 DBs under, 4 DBs under are going to be manned up, and Arkansas is bringing 5 with 1 kind of spy type D in going back. So we're going to see Arkansas showing a few different looks, but the main takeaway, they want to confuse the quarterback, they want to keep everything in front, and they want the quarterback to force a bad mistake or a bad throw. So we're going to dive into that film. But before we do, like, share, subscribe. If you like this SEC quarterback content, it helps the channel grow. We put out SEC quarterback content on a regular basis. So with that said, let's go ahead and finish the video with the film. Got 3 interceptions that Arkansas defense caused against Auburn last week, and they're all different. We're going to see some zone coverage, some man coverage, and we're going to see the Arkansas defense try to disguise something pre-snap and then do something else post-snap. But for the majority of the time, what they're trying to do is trying to confuse the quarterback. So again, this is broadcast footage, so I got to slow it down a little bit. But we're going to see an interception here. We're going to see Arkansas bring 4, and we're going to see a zone coverage here. But it looks like man off the bat. I got to go slow. I apologize. So it kind of looks like man, but we got zone here. Corner has inside technique. We got an up top safety. And then we got this back who's coming back here, who actually ends up making the play. So the quarterback starts looking this way, and then we're going to see he comes off that and then just tries to force the ball to this guy right here, which we'll see. There's an up-top safety. Not a very smart decision, but I think it's because of Arkansas's defense showing one thing and then doing something else. Was I wrong about who he was throwing to? No, I'm tripping. I was right. Yeah. So we got DB here, and then another DB even deeper. Ends up being an interception, right? So again, they just dropped 7, and they try to confuse the quarterback. Ends up being an interception. This next clip is going to be similar. They're going to drop 7, only bring 4. This is their 4-down lineman, and there's this no room to throw. It's going to be an interception to the boundary side here. He just forces the ball, right? So if you're A&M, if you're Reed or Weigman, whoever you are, or whoever ends up playing, again, as of now, don't think anyone's been announced. You want to avoid these type of throws. This was just a predetermined throw for Hank Brown here, the Auburn quarterback. So we're going to see Arkansas is going to be dropping into zone coverage. You can see right off the bat, pre-snap read looks like zone, ends up being zone. You got, we got 4 here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 1 deep safety here. It's probably a cover 3 type scheme, looks like, right? Third, then you got a safety middle of the field. Then we got curl the flats right here. Ends up being just a bad, poor throw. He's looking the whole time, thinks he has this receiver here, thinks this DB is going to go with him. He does not. Starts throwing to this little hook route here. Ends up being an interception, right? Okay, so we've seen 2 zone schemes that have led to picks. This next one's going to be a cover 1 man under, just meaning you got man across the board and 1 up top safety, and Arkansas is bringing 6 on this next play here, right? So even though Arkansas hasn't blitzed a ton, well, they blitzed a fair amount, like we talked about. Not a lot against Oklahoma State, but 40% against UAB and against Auburn they blitz. And it's strategic blitzes. So I believe this was a 3rd down, if I'm not mistaken. Let me move this actually. Yeah, this was, I can't remember if this was 3rd down or not. I apologize. But this was Auburn driving before the end of the half to try to score. You're going to see Arkansas bring 6. You have 1 up top safety, and it's man across the board. So this is where I talk about where you think, okay, maybe it's some type of zone. Sorry, I moved that. I apologize. Let me get that back here. So you think in pre-snap, maybe it's a type of zone. Boundary, you're thinking, okay, man. Field side, you're thinking zone. Ends up being just man across the board. Cover 1, man under. You got 6 guys blitzing, so they're trying to force the quarterback to hurry. The running back is running out for a route. Okay, actually only 5. I apologize. It looks like 6 were coming, but a DN drops here. And so we got man coverage under, right? Everyone's accounted for. 1, 2. I moved it again. I apologize. 3, 4. Then an up top safety. Tough throw. He tries to hit middle of the field, which the middle of the field is where the ball should probably go. But ends up being a tough throw. Good coverage leads to an interception. Can you see the interception? Yeah, there he is off the screen, right? So we saw zone twice, and then we saw cover 1, man under. As long as A&M can avoid these mistakes, I think A&M should be in a good position to win this game at the end of the regulation, right? So A&M fans, Arkansas fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're an Aggie, who do you want to start? Let me know your thoughts. What do you think the keys are for them to have success against Arkansas's defense, who has done fairly well these first 4 games of the season, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe if you like this SEC type of quarterback content. It's kind of our niche here, just purely or majority SEC quarterback content. So like, share, subscribe, keep following us along. We'll see you next time. Peace.